Conwy Mountain in North Wales. The billowing smoke, a signal of the true impact of multiple searing heatwaves. Wildfires here have been declared a major incident, with nearby residents evacuated and firefighters working to tackle the blaze. Record-breaking temperatures in the last 3 months have placed parts of the UK in what experts are calling exceptional risk of fire. This map from Sunday shows in just how many places that risk has become a reality. A major incident too in Derbyshire on Tintwistle Moor. In Manchester, near Dovestone Reservoir, emergency services have been working for 2 days to contain a fire. A caution there about taking care. In these conditions, a spark can easily catch.
There's no need for barbecues, campfires, any kind of naked flames, fireworks, whatever that be. You just don't need them out there at the moment. It is tinder dry, and fires will start very easily and spread very fast.
And with scorching, dry conditions expected to continue this week, that warning is perhaps more important than ever to hear. Hannah Kings, Good Morning Britain.
We're joined now by the Mayor of Penmaen Mawr Town Council, Lisa Goodyear. Lisa, there have been evacuations. Is the threat still very real? And what are you advising visitors coming into the area in the coming days?
Yes, Borodar, good morning. Yes, the threat is still very real. At the moment, we haven't had a stand down from a major incident, so we're waiting further information from the emergency services at 9 o'clock. The threat is still there. People are still not allowed back to their homes. We are obviously trying to deal with residents' inquiries where they're asking that of us and trying to find that out. However, many of those residents have slept the nights over at a local rest centre organised by the local authority. So as soon as we get some information from the local authority and from the emergency planning board, we'll be communicating that back to our residents.
All the best to you there, Lisa. It's obviously frightening, and as we know, thank you very much indeed. It's likely to get worse, of course, and these heat waves are going to become the new normal, as we've heard this morning from Laura. And of course, there are other consequences as well, aren't there? 2 men have died at Sychnant beach in Hartlepool yesterday afternoon. They got into difficulty trying to rescue 2 children. The children survived, but it comes as heat waves in May and last month have contributed to an estimated 2,700 extra deaths in England and Wales, according to the experts analysing the figures.
Now, Nick Dixon's at a care home in Chichester, which has chosen to open its door to anyone in the community because of concerns that it's so hard to deal with the heat. And Nick, this is an initiative which could save lives.
Yeah, it really is. During the heat waves in May and June, the staff have seen a lot of people coming into the centre really struggling with the high temperatures. That's where they've decided to open up their doors and let people coming in off the street use their air-conditioned facilities here. There's a nice cafe where you can get a cold drink. They can use the children's play area. Families have been coming in, or just sit in the air-conditioned cinema room as well. And it's one way that communities can respond to these high temperatures and try and make a difference and really help people. Just take a look at these figures this morning, really quite shocking. It's estimated that 550 additional people died during the May heat wave, and another 2,200, researchers believe, died during the June heat wave. Experts say 42% of those deaths can be linked to human-caused climate change, and these kind of places will become increasingly important. Let's have a chat with Cheryl, who works at the centre. Hi, Cheryl. What kind of response have you had from people?
Oh, we've had a great response. We've had all sorts of people coming in to use the facilities. We've had families with children, community warden, district nurses, and older people, of course, that need some relief.
And people have been coming in here in quite a bad way with the heat, haven't they?
Yes, so I've seen people coming in really quite red in the face and obviously struggling. And we've just taken the time to, sit them down, have a nice cold drink and relax.
Makes a big difference. Thanks, Cheryl.
It does make a difference.
With these heat waves, of course, many people try to cool down in the water, and that can be very dangerous. We've been hearing just in the last 24 hours, sadly, 2 men have died at Sychnant beach in Hartlepool. A couple of boys were in the water. The men went in to try and help them, we believe. The RNLI were involved in that attempted rescue, but sadly, they could not save those 2 men.
just utterly tragic, isn't it, Nick? Thanks very much indeed. Laura, the trouble is we've all been dealing with this hot weather as if it's an aberration.
Yeah.
And then I suppose kind of this week it has felt like, OK, we need to start getting used to this. And you're going to tell us this is going to be our new normal. But, I mean, it has devastating consequences unless, as we heard from the mayor of the area where this wildfire has been declared, we start preparing ourselves. What are the measures we should be taking?
So, first off, the advice from the Fire Brigade and the Forestry Commission is to think about your discarded cigarette butts. It seems really obvious. Lots of them are started by that. The point is, wildfires are completely natural. They happen all the time. But in these conditions where we've had no rainfall for a month in some areas and exceptionally high record-breaking temperatures and the wind picking up over the weekend, a perfect recipe, which is why over the weekend we had this warning for extreme fire risk. The first time we've had that since 2022 when we had our record temperatures in the UK. So everybody was alert and they knew that. So discarded fire butts, discarded cigarettes, barbecues, asking people not to have them anywhere in any grassy areas, nowhere near woodland areas, not to be party poopers, just to be mindful that it could be something as simple as that. If you leave a glass bottle on grass, the sun can focus through the grass and cause the heat to build up, just like you would if you have, you know, like a crystal ball, and it burns that, and that can cause things to ignite. And things like compost heaps in people's gardens, obviously we have to be really mindful of water usage, but dampening down the compost heaps in the gardens, because they can get very hot, making sure your grass stays below 7 centimetres, because a very low grass means that the flames won't fan so easily. So these are all the pieces of advice. But yes, right now we are in our third heat wave. We've broken multiple records yet again. We have this report that Nick just talked about that in the first 2 heat waves that we had this year in May and June, 2,700 people died because of excess heat. But climate change made those temperatures 3 or 4 degrees hotter than they would have been. And 42% of the deaths were because of human-caused climate change. 42% of those deaths could have been prevented if we weren't so warm. And there's projections for our future scenarios. In just 30 years' time, we could widely see 40 degrees in the UK. 45 degrees will be the peak. And I was at a big briefing and people from the fire brigade said, in the future, we'll have to pick which fires to put out, which streets to save, which houses to save, because there won't be enough resources.
Oh, it's chilling, isn't it? Laura, thanks very much indeed.